Happy Monday, y'all. So today we have one of my clients mentioned to me, and then I had another client mention that he back pain had kind of flared up since this whole quarantine thing has been going on. So I had another client say, hey, why don't you put out a video relating to sitting down all day? I mean, most people sit down all day anyway, but it seems to be worse. Maybe they're not in the same chair they're typically used to sitting on the couch. So posture isn't as good as maybe it typically is. So this is a video for hips, for low back. So what we're gonna do is work on mobility, we're gonna work on some soft tissue. There's 5 movements, and I'm gonna go through them with you as well. So let me get my timer started. All you need is a foam roller, and then I have a bench. So the bench is actually pretty low. I would not recommend using a bench for this first exercise if you have a tall bed or something like that. If you happen to be in a clinic and you have like an adjustment table or a massage table, that's going to be a better height for you. I mean, you want probably twice this tall to be able to get up there. So I'm going to get my timer going. So the first movement is going to be stretching out this hip capsule back here. And I'm going to put my leg up, so my foot is on the bench, my knee is on the bench, and on the bench I can just sit down and bring my knee down. So if you don't have this much mobility in this hip, this is going to feel terrible. So that's why that higher elevation is going to be better for you. But what you're going to do, again, your foot is on here, and I want you to pull your toes towards your shin. What I can do is try to stay up tall, and I can actually kind of turn. So I'm grabbing a hold of the bench. That's the benefit of the bench, is that I can kind of turn into it. And I'm really getting a stretch in here. So a lot of our muscles, if we're sitting down in the same position, even if we're changing positions every once in a while, these muscles in here get really tight. Our glutes kind of turn off. So we just kind of want to stretch them out. So that's our cue to switch. So you might find one leg is way tighter than the other. So same thing. My foot is on the bench. My toes are pulled back towards my shin. And I can kind of turn into it. So this side is a little bit tighter on me. So get some good exhales. You can hinge forward, so you don't just want to round over. We don't want to go back into that same posture we're in all day. We want to try to keep that chest tall, that back flat. It's our halfway point. Kind of turn into it. And you're just kind of hanging out. So the breathing really does matter. If you're holding your breath, you're not going to be able to sink into the stretch. So sink into the stretch. Like I said, a bed is a perfect height usually for this type of thing. If you can hike your leg up there, that's kind of what we need. So from there, we're going to take, and this is where the bench is a good height. So if you have a dining room chair, you can use it. I'm going to go ahead and stack my foam roller up to give me a little bit more balance. So my back foot is facing straight ahead. These toes again are pulled back towards my shin, and I'm going to just turn into this leg. So I'm turning. So you can stay, again, back is super flat, and think about pushing back into this hip, pulling these toes in. And so I'm getting a good stretch along the back side of this leg, this hamstring, maybe even down into the calf a little bit. I can come up, relax a little, and then hinge back into it. Again, I can turn into it. That's going to pull more of the side, the lateral aspect of that leg. So that having this tall foam roller is perfect. And then you can switch legs. So same thing, back foot facing straight ahead, toes are pulled back towards my shin, and I can turn. Again, this is that tighter side on me. So use the breath. Remember, you can hinge into it. You don't want to round over though. You want to keep that tall chest. Toes, keep them pulled back towards the shin. this leg stays straight. So you don't want to bend it, you want to keep it straight. You can put that hand out here to kind of rotate you across a little bit. And you just don't want this foot to move a whole lot. You want it facing up towards the ceiling the whole time. Okay, so I'm going to move this bench out of the way real quick. So then we're going to grab our foam roller and we're going to roll our back. So our mid back. So that's what we're aiming for, mid back to upper back. I really encourage people to either cross over really far with their arms or go hands behind the head and elbows together. So elbows come together. And what we're looking for is opening those shoulder blades up. We're trying to spread those shoulder blades apart so we can get in between. So we're trying to open that mid back, that upper back. And so you can even stop rolling that mid back and just kind of lay and let gravity kind of pull you down and breathe. So I like rolling about 30 seconds and then doing that opening for about 30 seconds. So now we're going to go front side of the hip. So right in the front side of that hip, we're going to go a full 50 seconds on each side. So you might find yourself coming down towards that knee more, but I like staying up in the hip. So that hip flexor will get tight. That TFL, which is kind of right where that pocket is on your pants. There's a little spot in there that does not feel great. Keep going halfway. So again, breathing. And you're searching, whenever you're doing foam rolling or soft tissue, you're looking for spots. We're trying to work them out. Again, as always, this is not as effective as a massage. Therapists can get in there, but we can't use those right now. So this is what we got. So we're going to switch sides. We have some beautiful ducks flying over the house just now. So, again, working towards the side of the hip where that pocket is, and then kind of on the front side of the hip as well. And you can work your way down towards that knee, but I'm going to stay up here in that hip flexor. So when you're sitting, your knees are pulled. If you're sitting in a chair, you're sitting in a couch, your hips are flexed, which means they're kind of on all the time. So this, having that straight leg, working out that tissue, kind of helps open it up a little bit. And you find a spot that kind of makes you that pirate eye, that face. Okay, and then the last one, I lied earlier, we need a mat as well. So I'm going to come up on one knee. I'm going to have my foam roller out in front. My hands are on top of that foam roller. And you have a few options. You can keep the toes tucked. I like laying my foot flat. What I'm going to do, I'm going to push on the foam roller down and I'm going to drive my hips forward. So kind of driving forward, I'm going to squeeze this cheek. So I'm getting a stretch in here. You can kind of just hang out. You can twist. I kind of like twisting side to side a little bit. It hits it a little bit differently. You can rotate. And this is all about you. It's about finding that best stretch. Might be turning that hip inward a little bit more. Okay, and we're going to switch legs, put that other knee down. Same thing. And again, play with the foot position. I like having the toes laid out flat. And so you think about it like, oh, everything's tight on the right side. And this is my tighter hip flexor. This one feels a little bit tighter than that other side. forget that breath. Enjoy the peaceful sound of silence. Okay, so turn this off. That was less than 10 minutes. So we got in some glute stretching. So we stretched out the backside of our hips. We stretched out the backside of our legs, and then the outer portion of our hamstring as well. We worked on our upper back, so opening our upper back, we're rolling our upper back. Might feel a few pops in there when you're rolling, and then just being able to open up, because we're always like this. And then we worked on our hip flexor, so we worked on the soft tissue, and then we worked on the stretching of that hip flexor as well. So not a lot of time, but I think a lot of value in just under that 10 minutes. So give it a shot and let me know how it goes.